3 pieces of garlic, finely chopped. One red onion, diced. You can also use a white onion or a couple shallots if that's what you have on hand. The garlic and onion will basically melt into the stew, adding incredible flavor. One red bell pepper, diced. This will add some fresh sweetness to the stew. One green bell pepper, diced. This will add a hint of pepperiness and a beautiful pop of green color. Peel 4 potatoes. In this episode, I'm using yellow potatoes for their delicious butteriness, but feel free to use russets if that's what you have on hand. Chop the potatoes roughly into 1-inch cubes. The potatoes will add a lot of body and that buttery texture to the stew, and it will also act as a bit of a thickener. Slice in half about 1.5 cups of cherry tomatoes. 400 ml canned chickpeas. You can save the aquafaba to make a thick chickpea mayonnaise. Rinse and drain the chickpeas with some water, then set aside. That's pretty much it, and we're ready to cook. I told you this was easy. Stock pot. Medium heat. About 3 tablespoons olive oil. Onions and garlic. Saute for 3 to 4 minutes. Red and green bell peppers. Saute for a couple of minutes. This recipe is quite versatile. You can also try using zucchini if you like. Two teaspoons salt. Fresh cracked pepper to taste. Half teaspoon turmeric. 2 teaspoons sweet paprika. 1 teaspoon smoked paprika. Stir and cook for about a minute to combine all those delicious flavors. Cherry tomatoes. Potatoes. Chickpeas. 4 cups of unsalted veggie stock. Give the pot a stir and bring to a boil. When it comes to a boil, turn the heat to medium-low, cover and cook for 15 to 18 minutes. Blender. Transfer about 3 ladles into the blender. Blend on medium-high for a few seconds. Transfer back into the stew. This will add a lot more body to the stew and give it a delightful texture. Give the pot a stir to combine. Plate the soup generously. This recipe is good for about 3 to 4 portions, but of course you can multiply it to make more if you like. Squeeze over some fresh lemon juice, and sprinkle over some freshly chopped parsley. You can now serve up this stupendous recipe with absolute confidence. I'm using 2 types of oyster mushrooms today. These are your regular oyster mushrooms and these baby king oyster mushrooms. They will add so much delicious umami, earthiness, and a really beautiful texture as well. We'll be cooking these separately, but the beauty of this recipe is that everything should be finished around the same time. Preheat the oven to 375. Roughly chop the oyster mushrooms. I'm using about a total of 350 grams of mushrooms. Roughly chop the king oyster mushrooms. Keep in mind the mushrooms will shrink significantly in the oven, so it's always a good idea to be generous with the mushrooms. This recipe should make enough for about 5 to 6 portions. Transfer the mushrooms to a mixing bowl. Add a pinch of salt and fresh cracked pepper to taste. Add about a tablespoon of avocado oil. Toss the mushrooms to coat. This is one of my favorite ways to cook mushrooms, as the oven draws out most of the moisture, leaving you with a more concentrated, earthy flavor. Transfer the mushrooms onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Spread the mushrooms out so that they cook evenly. Bake in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. These are brown lentils that I've been soaking overnight. I use about 1 cup of lentils to about 3 cups of water. We're going to rinse this out and just set it aside. Rinse and drain the lentils. One red onion, diced. You can use white onions if that's what you have on hand. It's completely up to you. As you'll see later into the recipe, cooking the mushrooms separately is a fantastic way to yield more portions since it won't be overcrowding the rice and lentils. Finally, chop 2 pieces of garlic. The onions and garlic will create a base flavor and melt into the rice. You can be more generous with the garlic if you like, it's completely up to you. Dice 1 Roma tomato. The tomato will add a little bit of sweetness and acidity to the recipe. 1 cup basmati rice. Rinse 2 to 3 times to get rid of the excess starch, then set aside. Sauté pan. Medium heat. 1 tablespoon avocado oil. 1 teaspoon cumin seeds. 1 teaspoon fennel seeds. Fry the seeds for about 30 seconds and allow it to infuse the oil with amazing aroma. Red onions. Sauté for 3 to 4 minutes and soften up the onions. Garlic. Sauté for a couple of minutes. Add in the tomato. 1 teaspoon salt. Stir and cook for a few minutes. The moisture from the tomatoes will lift everything off the pan and bring all those delicious flavors together. Add in the lentils and the rice. One and a half cups of vegetable stock. Give the pan a good stir and turn the heat up to medium-high. Ensure that the rice is all submerged into the liquid. When the stock begins to bubble, turn the heat to medium-low. Cover and cook the rice for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, turn the heat off and allow the rice to steam further for another 10 minutes. As you can see, the mushrooms shrink quite a bit, and that's precisely why I'm always generous on the mushrooms. Carefully transfer the mushrooms to the rice. Gently mix the rice and lentils together with the mushrooms, combining delicious flavors and amazing texture. Plate generously. This is a fantastic meal prep recipe as it makes quite a good portion. Garnish with some fresh curly parsley and some fresh lemon juice to serve. You can now get down to earth with this delicious recipe with absolute confidence. Preheat the oven to 400. Simply use your hands to tear down about 80 grams of oyster mushrooms. You can definitely use another mushroom that you have on hand, it's completely up to you. Place the mushrooms into a mixing bowl. Half teaspoon smoked paprika. Half teaspoon umami powder. This is a umami powder made in a previous episode. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to check this out, make it really easily at home. If you can't make this, simply salt and pepper will be just fine, but highly recommended. Drizzle of avocado oil. Toss to coat. Transfer onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. This is fried tofu that comes in a block. You should be able to find this at an Asian grocery store. They're usually refrigerated, comes in almost like a vacuum sealed package. Sometimes called fried bean curd. Really awesome product and just makes life easy. Slice the fried tofu and place onto the baking tray. In this episode, I'm using about 1/4 pound of fried tofu. Bake in the oven for 20 minutes. This is a quick Chinese-style chili paste made in a shorts video. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to check that out as well. Make this really easily at home. Having this on hand also makes life much easier. Sauté pan or stock pot. 1 tablespoon Chinese chili paste. 1 tablespoon miso paste. Use the butt of the knife to crush 1 lemongrass. This will help it release all that amazing citrusy aroma. This is a smoky, spicy chili oil, also made in a previous episode, and I'll also leave a link in the description box below for you to check this out, make this really easily at home. This will add an extraordinary, smoky, spicy aroma to that broth. Add a good tablespoon of chili oil. Cook the paste on medium heat for 2 to 3 minutes. Frying the paste is imperative as it helps release extraordinary flavors. 1 teaspoon sweet paprika. 1 teaspoon turmeric. Stir and cook for another minute. This is the base flavoring for the broth, so it's important to give it time for the flavors to cook and incorporate. Add in the 400 ml can of coconut cream. Give the pan a stir and turn the heat to medium-high. Add 1 liter or 4 cups of water or unsalted veggie stock. I'm only making enough toppings for myself today, but this broth should make enough for about 3 to 4 portions. 3 tablespoons soy sauce. 1 tablespoon cane sugar. Give the pan a stir and let it come to a boil. Bring a pot of water to boil for the noodles. When the broth comes to a boil, give it a good stir and let it simmer for a few minutes. Boil the udon noodles to package instructions, in this case about 3 minutes. Remember to stir the noodles occasionally. When the toppings are done, take them out of the oven. Very carefully strain the broth through a sieve. The lemongrass could have been simply picked out, and this step is optional, but it ensures the broth is clean and silky smooth. Take a moment to appreciate and be captivated by that beautiful glow. When the noodles are done, strain them out and place in the serving bowl. Pour in about 2 cups of that delicious, rich broth. This broth would be fantastic enjoyed with a thick vermicelli noodles as well, but it's completely up to you. Assemble the crispy fried tofu. Add in the flavorful oyster mushrooms. And a generous amount of fresh cilantro. You can now enjoy this incredible bowl of soup noodles with absolute confidence. It looks and smells wonderful. Man, that is such a umami-packed broth. So delicious. Visually, this bowl is just gorgeous. We have the turmeric to thank for that beautiful golden glow, and that chili oil which gives it this stunning crimson red color. The chili oil adds that aromatic, smoky, spicy flavor, and there's that salty umami from the soy sauce, that little sweetness from the cane sugar. The Chinese style paste definitely has some heat in it, but it also brings a lot of that garlicky flavor. There's a little salty, tangy sweetness from the miso paste, and there's a little citrusy note from the lemongrass. The noodles are so delightful and so chewy. It picks up all of that delicious flavor from the broth. The mushrooms are so dense in flavor and a total explosion of umami. It has a little bit of those crispy edges, almost like mushroom chips. The tofu is substantial, it's got that crispy outer layer as well, and that broth is thick, it's full-bodied, it's rich. This is definitely one of those recipes that looks like a painting in a bowl. So delicious. Serve this at your next dinner party and you'll really impress your friends. Like I always say, it's simple, delicious recipes like this that makes it so exciting to cook at home. And if you love easy, delicious, beautiful recipes like this, definitely check out or pick up your copy of one of the 4 Young Man Cooking cookbooks. There's a print or digital version available in the link in the description box below, or you can visit youngmancooking.com. Of course, as always, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. If you're not already subscribed with that notification bell clicked, remember to do so that we can cook together again in the next episode.